What if there were, just looking for a moment, if there were a two-state solution, what might it compromise? What would be some elements of it? Well, at last count, there were 389 Jews living in the West Bank, and a further 375,000 in disputed neighborhoods around Jerusalem that were over the 1949 armistice line. Most experts, that is the Jewish Israeli experts, because they have far more sophisticated data analysis machinery, estimate that perhaps up to 100,000 settlers from the West Bank would have to be evacuated and relocated into Israel proper, whereas the rest of the settlers could be, in an exchange of territory, become part of Israel. To us, or to many people, they're called settlers. But to second and third generation settlers, they don't see themselves as settlers. What we're talking about is their homes. And their connection, like everyone's connection to their home, is something emotional and deep, and very different than the way we think in terms of settlers and settlement abstractions, just to move the settlers. Now again, Israeli intelligence experts, well, before that, who will pay to evacuate the 100,000? Where will they be relocated? Would they be relocated as communities, i.e. would each settlement be replicated in Israel proper so that the community was held together? Or would they be kind of just spread out all over the place and left to fend for themselves? Jobs would have to be found, schools would have to be built, and there would be a very slow process of integration into mainstream Israeli society. And again, I repeat, you're not evacuating people, settlers from settlement, you're evacuating people from their homes. And some national security estimates say that as many 20,000, or let's even say 10,000 settlers would fight evacuation. So now you would have a situation in where the IDF is pitted against Israeli citizens. A disproportionate number of IDF recruits now come from settlements, and a disproportionate number of elite commanders in the IDF also come from settler families. You have the rise of Jewish extremism, a developing phenomenon. You very just recently, last week, had the detention of Meir Kenan's grandson, and they arrested some other people today. Now, you're an Israeli prime minister, and you are going to make a decision about what to do about evacuating 100,000 settlers, where perhaps 10,000 are going to resist. And all of this is going to be on television and social media. And Israeli citizens in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv are going to see the sight of their soldiers fighting Jewish Israeli citizens, and Jewish Israeli citizens fighting back to stay where they believe they were told by God to stay. Not only told by God to stay, but given billions of dollars over the years by successive Israeli governments to stay in these settlements. And all of these factors, as they would kind of combine in visuals and tweets, in the way that the media transforms the way events are looked at. It's called the Heisenberg principle, that observing something changes the nature of the event being observed. There's a principle that if you have a choice between a present and a known outcome, and a future outcome that is probably better, but it's uncertain, you will choose the present outcome.